What kind of computer do you actually need to run AI locally? That's what I want to test. For this video, I test with local LLMs on three very different machines. The first one is gonna be a laptop with no dedicated GPU, only RAM and CPU. The second one is gonna be a mini PC with integrated GPU, which I'm gonna explain later. And the last one is gonna be a gaming laptop with a dedicated GPU. For the test, I use LM Studio with three different models from the same family with their default setup. The family is the Qwen 3. The first one is 4 billion params, the second one 14 billion params, and the last one 30 billion params, but with only 3 billion active. That's what we call the MoE, or mixture of expert model, that let you activate only a set of params depending on the tokens. I use the same prompt in all the tests. Explain local AI trade-off in 5 short paragraphs. I did that with the intention to keep it short and control it so we can feel the speed in how it behaves on this small task. We are gonna start with the Dell laptop. It's a Dell XPS 9320. Basically, this laptop is only RAM and CPU, 32 gigabytes of memory RAM, and Intel i7. Okay, now using LM Studio, we are gonna load our first model. We are gonna use Qwen 3 4 billion params, and you will notice one thing. Once you load the model, notice how the RAM increase. At the beginning was around 5 gigabyte, now you can see it's around 10 gigabyte. So we are gonna run our first test, explain local AI trade-off in 5 short paragraphs. So here we can see in real time how it started generating the response. Also notice how the CPU activity increased. As you know, this is only RAM and CPU. As you can see, the result is 5 tokens per second. So not as good as you would like to expect in a real situation, but is something usable. So yeah, that's the first test. Now we're gonna test our second model is Qwen 3 14 billion params. And same process is loading in the RAM. And after loading, we are gonna run our test. One thing you're gonna notice from this model, it has something called thinking mode. Basically, it spends few more tokens just analyzing the conversation, so it give you a better answer. You can also turn it off. So we're gonna fast forward here because it takes a while. Remember, we are only on CPU and RAM. It generates around 1 token per second, pretty slow, but it is what it is. Okay, and our last test on this machine is the Qwen 3 30 billion params and 3 billion params active at the same time. That's what they call the MoE, mixture of expert. Imagine you are in a room and with a lot of expert, and only some of them answer at the same time, depending of course of the topic. Also, another thing that you will notice here is the amount of RAM it consumes. Imagine this is 30 billion params model, so you have to load all at once, but when you have to answer, you only active some of them. So when you hear the market is running out of RAM, it's because of this type of model. Like, and this is a small one, I can say. If you think about a frontier model, we're talking even about trillion params. Let's run our tests and see the result. We're gonna fast forward because it's gonna take a while, as you can see. So at the end, the result is around 4 tokens per second. similar to the original 4 billion params that we tested at the beginning. Now let's jump to our second machine. It's a mini PC. It's a GMKtec K8 Plus. And this one is a really interesting one. It has an integrated or unified memory, which means the CPU and GPU share one memory pool instead of having separate system RAM or VRAM. Okay, we are gonna run our first test with the Qwen 3 4 billion params. As always, we see a RAM increase, and also we are gonna see some GPU activity. Remember, we have some reserved GPU memory now that we have a integrated GPU. We are gonna run our regular test. This is in real time, by the way. See how fast it is. It's like working with ChatGPT. So the result is 21 tokens per second. So now let's move to our second model, Qwen 3, 14 billion params, same test. Remember, these have a thinking mode, but as you can see, it's way faster than the previous machine, the Dell laptop with only RAM and CPU. We are gonna fast forward a little bit here. And the result of this one is around 6 tokens per second. And now on this machine, we are loading our last model, the Qwen 3, 30 billion, active 3 billion params. Something that you will notice now is that it's taking almost the whole RAM. So it will left us with, I don't know, around 1 gigabyte of RAM. So yeah, that's why RAMs are really expensive right now. Okay, let's run our last test on this machine. What you see here is in real time, really good. And the result is 11 tokens per second. So yeah, that's set for this machine. And now moving on to our last machine, an ASUS gaming laptop. This one have a dedicated GPU, 8 GB of VRAM for this one. And it's an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 5070 laptop GPU. Let's pick up our first model, the Qwen 3 4 billion params. And as always, let's run our typical test. And see how fast it is. It's 74 tokens per second. Incredible, right? This is because we have a dedicated GPU. That's where the difference comes from on this test. And now we're gonna pick up our second model, Qwen 3, 14 billion params, and same test. Remember, this model is on thinking mode, and I will leave it on real time so you can appreciate the speed and compare it with the others. You see the total time thinking about was 19 seconds, and now we can see how it's generated the response. And the result is 14 tokens per second. And now our last test on this machine. The model is Qwen 3, 30 billion, active 3 billion per hour, and see how fast it is. And we are done, 31 tokens per second. I hope you enjoyed the video and the experiment here. If you have any comment or have any question or want me to test any other LLM on any of these machines, please let me know in the comment section. See you on the next one.